Okay, so we come to the end of our mat. Okay, I just want to stand in mountain pose. So mountain pose is palms outwards, head up, pulling up through the core, through the spine. Nice deep breath in, and release those shoulders down. Again, big breath in, and down. One more time, I'm going to turn this way so you can see me. And down. I want you to take your hands up above your head, and we're going to go into a crescent stretch. So just leaning over to one side from the hip. Coming back through the middle, and then leaning over to the other side. Now remember, we all move, stretch in slightly different ways. Some of you will be leaning a long way over, some of you it will be a small stretch, and then you just look to develop that as you go along. Come back to the middle, one more time, and this is called a standing crescent. And to the middle, one more. And just float the hands down. Okay, back into that mountain pose. Make sure feet are about hip width apart, and we're going to press through the heels into that chair. Lifting up, sitting back, trying to get our bum down, chest lifted. And we're just going to float the hands forward and lift the hips up. Allow the head just to hang. And again, you're allowing the stretch to develop. Some of you might want to keep the knees slightly bent, but try and keep those hips up nice and high. And then uncurl, bringing the head up last. And again, we're going to go back into chair. So press through the heels, lift up the arms, palms facing inwards. And then just sit down your weight through. Float the hands forward. Hips up, drop that head down. And if we can, we're going to go in cradle, and we're just going to rock those elbows into our ragdoll position. Again, this is aimed at the hamstrings, the back. Allow the hands to come down. You're going to press up above the knees into a half fold. So looking to straighten the legs, getting the back nice and flat. Eyes are looking down and forward. Then from here, we're going to walk the hands down into a plank position. So full plank, on the balls of the feet, my shoulders are over my wrists. Hold that position there. Slowly take the knees down, point the toes, and then lower, controlled, down to the ground. Okay, reset those hands. Place them underneath the shoulders, and we're going to go up into a small cobra. So just pressing, elbows stay in. You come up as high as you feel comfortable. Lower back down again. And then press up again. And down. Take the hands behind, place onto your backside. Feet stay on the floor. Engage and squeeze the shoulders, and then lift off the ground into that half lotus position. Opening out the chest. And then lower back down again. So this time we're going to bring into full lotus. So engage the shoulders, lift, and then lift those heels up, pressing the hips into the ground. Toes are pointed. And lower back down again. Place the hands underneath, tuck the toes, and we're going to press up into downward facing dog. Hips nice and high. Hold the position there, hands evenly weighted, hips nice and high. And we're going to walk the dog. Press the heel, press, but keeping the hips high each time. And hold it there. Okay, from here, we're going to take our leg up into three-legged dog. Keep it nice and high. So we're going to drop over, we're going to go into bent leg, and we're just going to try and open out that hip a little bit more. Press back up again. We're going to go through into high lunge. So kick that foot through and lift up into warrior one. Chest is lifted. Open out the hip, change that back foot into warrior two. Hold the position here. Chest is open, head is up, and we've got that nice stretch through the thigh, through the hip. Take the hand backwards into reverse warrior. And then coming forward over the top. And we're just going to take the hands down to the side. We're going to go into low lunge. Just hold the position here. Bring that knee down, point the toe. And then from here, we're going to go into half crescent. So you're looking to press and lift the chest, arching the back, lifting the chin. Hold that position. Float the hands back down again. Tuck the toe, lift that leg up. From here, we're going to go into a half twist. So hand stays down, and we rotate round. Hands back down. And then from here, we're going to go into humble warrior. So I want to take the hands behind and open out the chest, holding that position. Bring the hands down, and then we're going to press the hip back up, and we're going to walk the hands through the middle and come up. Want this toe to point out, because we're going to work on triangles. So this toe goes that way, hands shoulder height. Let's kick the hip out. Hip across, take the palm down and open, hand up to the ceiling, into that triangle position. So you're pressing this hip up. Come back up to standing, flick both the toes forward, and we're going to do a wide bend from here. Take the hands out and just allow the head to drop. Just hold that position, allow the stretch to go off. And if you can, just try and dip more forward, keeping the hips nice and high. From here, take the hands, clasp them behind, and then just open out those shoulders and chest. Allow the hands to float back down again. Press the hands into the middle. We're just going to press forward, just open, keep the back nice and flat. And we're going to walk the feet in. Hips are high. And we're going to go into that ragdoll position again. And then come all the way up, unfolding your head last to standing. So we're going to go to the other end of the mat. So hands are in an open position. From here, we're going to press into chair. Press down. Get those hips down. You should be able to keep the heels on the ground, chest lifted. Float those hands forward, drop the head down and into that ragdoll. Cradle the arms. Again, the knees can be slightly soft. Hips, keep them high. Try and get that chest towards the thighs. From here, slide the hands up onto the knee, and we're looking to flatten the back into that half fold. Neck's nice and long. I'm looking down and forwards, okay? Allow the hands to float down, and we're going to walk forward into that plank position. So my core's nice and tight, shoulders are over wrists, I'm on the balls of my feet. From here, lower the knees slowly, point the toes, and then down to the ground. Reset the arms, and we're going to press up into mini cobra, keeping the elbows tucked. So this time we might be able to go up a little bit higher into that back bend. Lower slowly. Everything is controlled, nice deep breathing. Press up again. Hips pushed into the ground. Legs are long. And lower back down again. Take the arms behind. We're going to go straight into lotus this time. So we're looking to engage, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Head is neutral. And we're going to lift and squeeze and lift those ankles together as well. Hips into the floor, being as long as we can. And then slowly lower it back down again. Okay, from here, place the hands, tuck the toes, and we're going to press up into downward facing dog. Hips nice and high, up here. Even weight through the hands. Pressing, walking that dog, but each time you're looking to really work on the ankle flexibility and working on that Achilles, but keeping the hips up. Hold that position there. Take the other leg up into three-legged dog. Lift it nice and high. Hold that position. Just allow the foot to fall so you're opening out your hip. Straighten it up. And then we're going to bring it through. You're going to jump it into a high lunge into warrior one. Chest is high. Okay, settle that back foot down, open into warrior two. So you might have to change your feet slightly. Make sure your back foot is to the side. From here, slide that back hand down into reverse warrior. We're going to bring you back into warrior two. From here, we're going to turn the foot and we're going to go back down into low lunge. Just hold the position here. Drop that knee down and we're going to go into crescent. So lift the chest. Opening out the hips. Bring the hands back down into low lunge. From here, we're going to go into humble warrior. Try and hold that position. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, open out the chest. Okay, float those hands back down again. And from here, we're going to lift back up. And we're going to turn the foot to the side, okay? Straighten both of the legs. Hands are up, we're going to kick the hip out, so press it across. Palm, and we're going to go down to our opposite ankle. Hand out into triangle. And come up. Flip both the feet round so that we're facing forwards, hips are together, hips are square. Hands go down. Take that head. And just try and keep the hips high. Take the hands around behind, clasp them together, and open out those shoulders. Bring them down. Just come to the middle of your mat. So just bring your feet a little bit, and we're going to drop down into our garland or our early hands. So keeping the heels on the ground, sit nice and low, chest is up. Now, if some of you are struggling with this, just put the hands on the floor, and then what I want you to try and do is just try and look to press those heels into the ground so you've got a nice firm support. If you can, then lift up into position. Just holding our position here. Move the hands, feet go backwards, and we're going to go into bound ankle. So both of the heels together, taking the top of the feet so that the arms are not involved, and we're just going to press out, opening out the hip. Sitting nice and tall. And from here, we're just going to lean the elbows over the top and then curl through so we increase the stretch. And come back out. Open out the feet nice and wide. And then we're just going to walk the hands forward. Your aim is to try and get your chest onto the ground. I'm still not there. But you go as far as you feel comfortable. Make sure the neck's nice and loose. And just walk those hands forward until you can feel the stretch. And slowly slide back in again. Taking one foot across, opening out the hip. And then we're going to take forehead to knee. So I'm going to lean forward from my hip and then reach through to my ankle, looking to take my forehead, but keeping my hip open. Coming back up. I'm going to place my hand down here. This hand's going to go up into the air. And I'm going to open out the hip and stretch. So reaching behind, pressing the hip up, and then settling back down again. Okay, change sides for me. So I'm opening the hip, and I'm looking to get my forehead to my knee. So I'm leaning over, and then I'm going forwards. Again, trying to press that knee outwards. Just hold the position. Come back up again, hand down, and then lifting up over the top. Opening out the hip flexor, stretching the back. And lower back down again. Bring both feet round. And from here, find your seat bones. And we're going to press the hands and we're going to lie all the way back down onto the ground. Take the hands above. Press the legs down, be as long as you possibly can. And from here, we're going to tuck the chin and we're going to roll all the way back up again. So bring the hands up to here, tuck the chin, and we're going to come all the way back up. So we're working on that core strength, so bringing some Pilates in. So from here, we're going to roll back through our vertebrae, engage the core, bring the hands over our head, big stretch, hands to the top, tuck the chin, and roll all the way back up towards our toes. Excellent. From here, we're going to go into a forward fold. So I'm going to allow my hands to drop down and we're going to slide forwards and looking to press my head towards my knees. Allow the back to arch. Just holding the position. And coming up. Bring one leg over and I'm going to reach my elbow and I'm going to press. Change sides. Other leg and elbow. Bring them back together. Okay, hands go down. We're going to roll all the way back down onto the ground. Hands above the head, and we're going to bring the knees in. Knees into the chest. Hands out to the side, and we're going to just drop the knees from one side through onto the other side. Just working through trunk mobility. A couple more. Bring those knees in nice and tight. Reach the hands through, press up, open into happy baby. Feet are flexed, hands are on the heels. Try not to wobble. Make sure we're taking nice deep breaths. Allow the stretch to develop, open out those hips. Just drop one leg down and we're just going to open out. You're going to take one foot to the side, just try and straighten it. So you should feel that stretch a little bit more into the inner thigh. Bring that leg in and go to the opposite side. So one leg is straight, one leg is bent. And again, focusing on the hamstring, inner thigh. Bring them back together again. Bring the knees in. Press them and up. Okay, so we're going to flip our legs around. And we're going to go into our 4-point position. So into cat-cow, really, really important. Belly button to spine, open out the shoulders. And come all the way through into cow, arch the back, lift the chin. And again, pull up into cat. And down into cow. Into that neutral position, and I just want you to move your hips around. So just sit backwards, just go from side to side, just allow the hips to move. Lower back, there's not any particular way, just a good way to get loose and move. I know some people feel a bit silly doing this. Okay, just tuck the toes, sit back on the arches, so really opening out those feet. And just lift the knees so that you can just increase into the arch of that foot. Allow the knees to go back down again. The toes, and obviously I've got to do a child's pose. Into the floor, forehead nice and long. Press all the way through into upward facing dog. Stretching out that lower back, opening out the chest, long through the hips. Press back into child's pose, forehead. Up into 4-point. Now from here we're going to go down into puppy. So we're going to bring both the elbows down, keeping the hips high, and you're going to slide the hands forward into that puppy pose. So looking to keep my hips up so they're above my knees. Stretching out, opening out, working on those shoulders, the chest, underneath the arms, in the armpits. Slide the hands back, so we're in this position here. Tuck the toes. We're going to go straight up into dolphin, okay? So you've got your on your forehands here, and you're going to press the hip up into that dolphin move. So strengthen the shoulders. And if you can, push up into downward facing dog. Press up into 3-legged dog, one of your legs. And then let's bring it through into pigeon. Now, what we want to try and do is make sure the hips are square so you're not leaning to the side and you're sat above. So you're not sat on your heel. Your shoulders are square and your leg is going straight back behind. I don't want you to try and twist. I want you to try and keep as square as possible and just allow the stretch. And from here, just stretch over the top and really increase it so that we're lying over. So you're pressing on the piriformis into the bum. Slide back up again. Tuck the toe, and we're going to press back up into downward facing dog. So lift, hips nice and high. Then we're going to go into 3-legged dog again. Lift up. Bring through. Again, try and keep those hips nice and square. Shoulders are square, so we're sat, not on. Allow the stretch to develop. Work through nice and long. Coming back up again. Tuck the toe. Press back into a plank position. Bring the knees down. Lower to the ground. We're going to press back into child's pose. Then coming up to a sitting position. Take the hand up to the side. Nice stretch over. Press back to the other side. Lift up nice and tall. Opposite side. Reach round, open out. Big hug. Stretch out those shoulders. And open through. Into eagle. Bring down, change sides. Into eagle. And down. Bring both hands up. Palms together, allow them to float back down again. One more time. Bring the hands together. And to heart. Well done, guys. I hope you enjoyed this morning. And I've enjoyed our Zoom, but I have to say I'm looking forward to seeing you all in person, okay? So thank you ever so much, and I will see some of you